Well, I realized I didn't have my mic on the whole time. Oh well, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, sorry about that. How's it going? Thanks for joining the stream. Yeah, I've been talking there for 10-15 minutes and my mic has been off, so sorry about that. Anyway, welcome to another FSEconomy. I'm in the Cirrus SR20, flying here in Alaska. Got a trip here to Clear in Alaska, 3 passengers on board, and heading in the vFlyteAir SR20. Got the new topology upgrade for the Garmin in the vFlyteAir, which is nice to have, and cruising along here to our waypoint. Got everything programmed in, flying autopilot. Should be a nice, easy trip. 3 passengers, won't make much, probably make about, maybe about $1,500, something like that. But it's all about the flying, right? So yeah, I guess I muted that mic before I started the stream and I forgot to unmute, so sorry about that. Anyway, I was talking about X-Plane 1.0 and the Garmin 1000, which is going to be available for X-Plane 1.0, and how it would be kind of nice to have that same system in this plane, just because, you know, you don't have to know 2 different systems, but I can understand why vFlyteAir is going to stay with this, because they put a lot of work and time into it, and it would probably be a pretty major rewrite to add the G1000 into their plane. So in any event, it is what it is. So, but anxious to check out the 1.0 release of X-Plane 11. I'm not gonna run the beta. I'm gonna wait for the release for the real release to come out. Sort of like the flatlands of Alaska here. Never flown in this area before. Yeah, so I want to talk a bit about, let's see, what planes do you have added to X-Plane? Okay, let's see. So I've got this plane here, the vFlyteAir SR20. I've got a couple of airplanes from Aerosphere, like Piper airplanes. I have a Seminole, Turbo Seminole, Arrow, and I'm missing one other, Archer. And then I also have a Carenado Beechcraft 1900D. It's a 19-passenger plane that I fly a lot in FSEconomy. Let's see, what else do I have? I have a Carenado Seneca V, the PA44, is it? Or 34? I can't remember which. Seneca, so it's a 5-seater, 6-seater. And I think that's about it. Maybe a couple other ones, but this plane here I'm flying now is the one I fly most in GA. I just love this plane. It's pretty quick. It's easy to fly. It's fun to fly, and I really do enjoy it. So, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. If you're into X-Plane 11 and you're into VR, hit the subscribe button. And I post a couple of videos a week, usually at least one a week, in X-Plane. Yeah, I was talking about the Yankee game also while I was on mute, so it was real kind of disappointing last night. The Yankees lost to the Astros, Game 6 of the ALCS. Justin Verlander was like ridiculous. He basically couldn't be hit. Well, they did get a few hits off him, but you know, nothing substantial. And it's do or die tonight for both teams, so should be a pretty good game. My PC specs: the CPU is a i7 6700, not a K, just a 6700. I got 32 gig of RAM. And I'm using a EVGA 1080 Ti SC2 graphics card. And all my discs are SSD, they're all SSD. So that's the specs that I'm running. Give me 1 second. It's gonna check a text here. See what it looked like outside here. What I love is how when you zoom in, you can see the G1000 there in the dashboard, and it looks exactly like it does when you're in the cockpit. Such a nice looking plane, such a cool looking plane. Flying along the Alaskan plains here. You want to know my age, dude? I'm going to keep that to myself. Let's just say I'm a mature male, okay? Are you into VR? Are you into X-Plane? And where are you from? So the reviews on X-Plane 11.1.0 have been pretty good. I mean, I was talking to one guy at a stream yesterday, Mayday, was saying he's getting 60 frames per second in 2D, not in VR, in 2D, in areas where there's like low density, objects and stuff. So that's pretty impressive. I put up a video today, or actually not today. It'll be going up Tuesday. I'm in the process of producing it. It's I did a benchmark test on 11.0.5. I've been meaning to do that. Every time they put out a new release, since 11R is pushing to get to, they want to have an average of, I think they said 60 frames per second. Every time they put out a new release, I do a benchmark test on the frame rates, CPU utilization and stuff. So that'll be going up on Tuesday. You'll be able to see that. I did one for 11.02 and I did it for 11.05. And when 1.0 comes out, I'll do one for that too, just so you can see if there's any, you know, what the increases are as they go from release to release. I think I gotta lower the sound here a little bit. Give me 1 second here. I'm just to make it a little less noisy. Let me see what happens when I go outside next. It was really noisy when I went outside. It's a little better. Love that plane, man. Love that plane. looks so nice. Well, thanks for joining the stream. Say hello in chat if you would. Appreciate it if you would. I really enjoy these FSEconomy. I got to get back on Pilot Edge. I haven't flown a lot on Pilot Edge lately. I finished the Cat 4. Then I kind of got sidetracked. Work has been like just crazy for me, so kind of got sidetracked and haven't been able to spend a lot of time on the Cat ratings. I mean, I've been on Pilot Edge. I was flying on there last week. I did some gliding. I love the glider at Warner Springs. That's a lot of fun. And that crashed midstream, which sucked. So I basically got back and I got in this plane. We're flying around a little bit. That's on my channel if you want to check that out. Check our engine status. EGT is what we look for lean. See if I can lean it. I could probably lean it out a little. Oh, that's about it. Yeah, so if you're looking for a plane, if you like the GA planes, I highly, and I wasn't given this plane. I bought this plane. I think it's $35. They didn't give it to me. I bought this plane. I have gotten some planes from some of the companies, but this one I bought, and I can tell you it was well worth the money. In fact, I had bought the Carinado SR20 because that's the plane I really like, and it was such a dog with frame rates, and the Carinado G1000 is so horrible. I returned it. I got my money back. And then I bought this plane. And I've been really happy because, like I said, these guys are working on this plane. They came out with an update, I guess it was in August or maybe September, for the plane. They improved the physics and the autopilot and a bunch of other stuff. So they're always working on improving their products, which is, you know, how often do you buy a plane that, you know, that does that? If you buy a Carinado plane, they may come out with one release, but like if they come out with a release that let's say you bought the Carinado plane for Xbox for X-Plane 10, and they came out with another one for 11, you got to rebuy the plane. They don't just basically upgrade. These guys upgrade everything, which is a really great policy, you know, because they want people to be customers, and I think that shows a lot of you know, a lot of pride in your work and also a lot of value to, you know, to buy a plane like this. So I highly recommend this plane. Like I said, it's a lot of fun to fly. It's got a lot of functionality, and it's very cool. Tell you what, let's see what our frequency is for clear. Let's see. Oh, 122.1. Oh, wait, yeah, 122.1. SETCOM 1 to 122.1.
COM1 set to 122.01.
SETCOM 1 to 122.10. SETCOM 1 to 122.10.
COM1 set to 122.1.
Alright, so now we're set to our COM. Now there was another COM, I guess that's the weather. Let's see if we can get this 125.2. Put that on COM 2. SETCOM 2 to 125.2.
COM2 set to 125.2.
Alright, we'll monitor both. What's nice about this plane is it's got a separate mic control for the comms, so you can have COM 1 with mic, but you could be monitoring COM 2 without having the mic on, which is nice. That's really nice in Pilot Edge because you can put the main frequency, the 121.5, whatever it is, on the COM 2 without the mic, and then you could have your COM 1 for whatever your your frequencies are that you're talking with. All right, 11 miles from our first waypoint. Yeah, someday I think I'm going to do ortho up here in Alaska. It's a lot of real estate to cover with ortho 4XP. But it would be very cool to have. You know, it's one of the places I love to fly. I love to fly in Hawaii, Southern California because of the mountains, the range, the hills, the mountains and stuff. And I love to fly in Alaska, especially in northern Alaska where you have the ice, you know, the ice cap mountains and stuff, and the glaciers and stuff. It's really cool. Just check our flight plan. Yeah, they made a lot of improvements to the flight plan and stuff on the MFD. They really did, which is nice. Like I said, they're always improving this plane. That's why I bought it. It has the cap system too. It actually works. I did a video on that with the parachute. You pop the parachute, you pull the handle, and plane floats to the ground. It's pretty wild. So one of the things I'm interested in seeing soon is how Daniel Church and the FlyInside guys are doing with their flight simulator. They announced it at FlightSimCon. They showed some screenshots of it. I'm not sure if they've had any video demos yet of it, but they're designing it from the ground up, and it's pretty impressive. Hopefully they're using Vulkan, which would mean that they've got it would be a highly graphic GPU optimized platform, something that X-Plane's looking to go to next year. They've already talked about plans to move to Vulkan instead of OpenGL. That's the cause of a lot of their problems. I mean, they're not efficiently using all the GPU power that they could to boost up frames because of the limitations of OpenGL. So when they go to Vulkan, it's going to improve things. But I would imagine that FlyInside guys are using Vulkan as a platform, which would make a huge difference, and it's going to separate. If they are, and you know that X-Plane's going to it, it's going to increase the gap between X-Plane and FSW substantially. FSW is based on, basically the Microsoft Flight Sim X engine. So there's really no major improvements. In fact, I did a video on on just showing some of the frame rates, and one of the things that's very telling about FSW is its inefficient use of the virtual CPUs. So like my CPU, I've got 8 virtual CPUs, right? So if you looked at MSI's afterburner to see what's going on in those CPUs, X-Plane pretty much distributes everything across those pretty evenly. FSW uses CPU number 2, the virtual CPU number 2. It's always pegged at like 100%, and the rest of them are like in the teens and the tens, which means that the GPU is always waiting for things to do because it's bottlenecked for one CPU. So it's a pretty inefficient way to design. And what I wanted to do is actually see what FSX does, and see if it's the same type of situation where it's only using that one CPU. But you know, I did a video on this when I did the benchmarking for FSW, and I'm not, listen, you know, they're trying to make a nice product, and I get that, but you know, now they're starting to charge people for DLC, and they're trying to make money off it. And in my opinion, they've got an early access flight simulator that has major optimization issues, and they're asking people to invest more money. It's sort of like Train Simulator. You know, Train Simulator, when it first came out way back when, chugged along. I mean, I ran it on like, you know, potato PCs, probably at about like 12 frames per second or 15 frames per second. And then people started to get angry because as the better GPUs started to come out, like, you know, when we started getting to the 970s and the 980s, you know, it really didn't show any improvement. It wasn't properly using the GPUs, and turned out to be design issues. And they did fix that with Train Sim World. Train Sim World, I've done some benchmarks on that, and it gets really, really good frame rates, and up into like the 60s and in some cases. So they did optimize things in TSW, and I think TSW was pretty much a complete rewrite, which was smart. And what they should have done with FSW is they should have done a complete rewrite, in my opinion. They shouldn't have used the flight sim Microsoft Flight Simulator engine, which is what they pretty much did, right? So I don't know. To me, it's, you know, you guys might slam me for it, but it's more of a game than really a flight simulator. It's not. It doesn't have the navigation capability. It's not real world. You know, certainly doesn't have VR, but I can't knock it for that, right? Because X-Plane doesn't have that either. But is it real world? It doesn't. I mean, you can't really use the GPS and do flight planning on a GPS in the thing. You got to use their flight planner, similar to the way Aerofly FS2 works, right? You use their own GUI flight simulator, or flight planner, I should say, which to me isn't real world. It's not real world. So anyway, I'll stop ranting about FSW. I know from time to time I rant about FSW, and you guys probably think I'm dinging on it. You know, it's a game. I don't think it's a flight simulator. I think it's a game. You know, I'm sorry. I don't view it as a flight simulator. It's a flight simulation game. Just like FSX is a flight simulation game, and P3D maybe steps it up a little bit more, right? Because you get some real-world navigation and all that stuff. Now, you do have radio navigation, but to me, you need to have GPS navigation. That's today, right? That's what most people are flying today. If you have a plane like this, you're using GPS, you know? Using radio as a backup, but you're using GPS, you know? I mean, where's the nav radios on this thing? I don't even know. Navs are up there. I don't see, there's no display for the nav. I don't think. I mean, you could set the nav, but this is the GPS plane. And to not be able to program a GPS in FSW to me is kind of ridiculous. Unless they've changed it since I first checked it out, but that's the way I understand it. Listen, X-Plane has a lot of holes in it too, right? It's got, you know, it's got optimization issues too, but I just think it's more of a real-world simulation experience, you know? Wonder what river that is there. Probably gold in that river. Let's see if we can see it on the map here. What is it? Oh, it's the Yukon. It's the Yukon River. So I would say there's definitely gold in that river. Up that way, probably. That is the Yukon River. Cool. What I have noticed with X-Plane 0.5, X11.05 is that there are less micro stutters. You know, you get that little, like if you look on the ground there, you get like a little stop, go, stop, go. There's a lot less of that. It's much smoother operation. Look at that cliff right there. That's pretty cool. And that's just the straight scenery. Not bad. Straight scenery is pretty nice. Let's check out outside here. That looks cool. The Yukon River. Lined up well on the map there. So I did a video on this map, this terrain thing. If you want to check that out, if you're interested in that, there's a free, well, you can donate to the developer. Terrain Radar, I think you have to install, and they have a donation. I recommend donating. Those guys work hard to make things right, and you will use that. Then you upgrade your SR20 to have the terrain map, the topology mapping, and it all works together to give you what you see right there. So pretty cool. I guess that's the Yukon sneaking around there. So if you like X-Plane 11, you like VR, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that little indicator next to the subscribe button, the little bell. That way you'll get indications when I put up a new video, and you can watch what we do. But yeah, I've been playing this game, Gold Rush the game. It's by Code Horizon. Just came out on late last week, I think Friday of last week, and it's pretty damn cool game. It's got a lot of issues, but sponsored by Gold Rush on Discovery Channel, one of my favorite shows. But it's basically a mining game. You build your mine. You start with a shovel and a pan and a bucket, and you start from there, and you build your way up to having a mining operation. I think there's 3 claims right now you can work on. There's bulldozers, there's excavators, there's front loaders, there's a pickup truck, there's all kinds of stuff you can do, water pumps and generators and all this stuff you can put together and buy. Now, they are working on adding things like dump truck, rock truck, a drill to test, to test for holes, to dig, test holes in claims and stuff. So they're working on, bringing out some more things to the game. It's available on Steam. It's like $20. I think they have a discount now, so it's like $17 or $18 or something like that. But it's a pretty cool game. It's a pretty cool game. It's a lot of fun. The good news is the developers are like updating it constantly. They did like 3 updates this week, so they had some glitches when they first came out. And they're trying to, meet the requirements and make sure everybody's happy with, fixing bugs and stuff. So check it out. It's called Gold Rush the Game. You can get it on Steam. It's not in VR. It's only in 2D, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. And I've got some videos, and I'm doing a series. I'm up to number 6. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. All right, well, look at that. It's Unstoppable Jacob who wants a shout out. All right, Unstoppable Jacob. Thanks for joining the stream, man. I appreciate it. Are you into X-Plane, or are you into VR? What are you into? I'm going to ride outside for a little while here. So I want to look under the plane here. That's pretty cool. Oh, better switch the tanks over. It looks like we got about 82 miles left to go to clear. Sounds like a Scientology reference, to clear. That is one wacky. I don't call it a religion. It's not really a religion. It's more like a cult, really, I think. I don't know if you've watched the show on, is it on AMD or AMC? I think it's on AMD. Not AMD. What is it on? AMC. I can't remember. Leah Remini, who used to be in King of Queens. She's an ex-Scientologist, and she's doing this expose on Scientology, and it's in the 2nd season. And it's pretty amazing what these people get away with. It's really shocking. If you get a chance, check it out. And to me, I don't understand why it hasn't been brought down. I don't understand why they're allowed to operate as a church. I just don't understand it. So, but if you watch the show, You know, watch it from episode 1, season 1, and you'll start to see what a crazy thing it is, and the abuses and the way people are treated and the money, and it's just unbelievable. So, Leah Remini, I think it's on AMC. I think it's on AMC. Oh no, A&E. It's on A&E. It's on A&E. But it's her expose on Scientology. You got to check it out. It's like, you know, it's gripping television. It really is. Hey Jasper, how you doing? You say VR? Yeah, VR is a lot of fun. Well, you know, the thing is that I've been doing it for over a year now, VR, and the only time I've ever gotten motion sickness was when I was playing in Project Cars. They have this this kart racing, and because Project Cars, the frame rates weren't high enough, you got to have at least 90 frames per second in the headset, and because there was a lot of quick movements, that got me ill. But beyond that, I've never gotten ill with X-Plane. And like you can see here, frame rates, I'm getting, you know, 90 frames per second. That second number is the frame rate in the headset. So you really don't, you know, I've never had any issues now. I've been doing it a long time now, so maybe I'm used to it. But I really have never had any issues other than that one time. Oh wait, there was another time. There was this one game this company gave me. It was a space game where you're basically in a space suit and you can go like 6 different directions. You know, 6, what do they call it? 6 points of reference or whatever it is. And so you can move through space any way you want. And because the frame rates were terrible, they were like in the 50s or 40s. I played that thing for like a minute and I almost puked. So it really is game dependent. If the developers do a good job of frame rate optimization, you shouldn't have any issues. Hey Steph, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. It's a little hard for me to see chat, guys, because I don't see it in the headset, unfortunately. So I have to kind of peek at the chat every once in a while. But thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Let me know if you guys have any questions about VR. Like I said, I've been doing it a while, and I actually have done a lot of research on it and know a little bit about it, so I can, you know, answer any questions you might have. You're starting to see a lot of new headsets coming out. Dell just came out with their mixed reality set. Microsoft came out with a mixed reality set. You're going to start to see more and more companies come out with these things, and it's all going to be a battle of content, because device is one thing, it's all about the content. You know, you want the amazing games, you want the amazing experiences, and that's, you know, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I think the Microsoft one came out this week, and the Dell came. I don't know if they're the same platform or whatever, repackaged. I haven't really, you know, paid that much attention to it. I remember when they were all first announced about 9 months ago that they were working on them, but now they're out. And these are mixed reality, so it allows you to either do VR or AR. They say mixed reality. It's augmented. I call it augmented. It's really augmented reality. But yeah, pretty cool. I've been mainly into VR with the Oculus Rift, and I've been really, really happy with it. Really happy with it. All right, so we're coming up to our last turn here, and then we've got about, what do we got? 68 nautical miles to our destination to drop off these 3 passengers. Make our $1,500. Have I played VR flight combat sims? I've tried DCS. I haven't tried DCS with the Rift. I used to have HDK2, which I think quickly has died down in popularity. That was my first VR headset, and I played DCS with that. It was pretty cool. I haven't gotten DCS with this yet, but everyone tells me it's pretty amazing. I mainly use X-Plane with VR. Because I'm not really into the combat thing, I'm more into the aviation thing. Navigation and, you know, sightseeing and all that stuff, you know. Alright, there's our turn.
Muni weather.
Here we go.
Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 23, dew point -15. Altimeter 2939.
Alright, we got our weather. Turn comp 2 off. Let's check the runway. Right pattern. Let's just see. PACL. Let's check out the airports. PACL. There's our diagram. 1 for 19. I guess we'll right pattern into 1. Okay. So that's what it says. Right pattern 1. So 1 is facing north. Let's just look at the information. Runways 01 and 19. So let's set our heading bug. Set heading bug to 010.
Heading bug set to 010 degrees.
All right, so now we know we're going to hit 01, 01. And we'll do a right pattern into there. How do you change your heading and altitude in the autopilot in VR? Okay. Well, I use, for changing the heading bug, I use plane commands, so it's voice commands. But changing the heading and altitude and stuff, you know, you got all your autopilot adjustments right here. This is your heading. You can scroll that. I'm using the mouse to do that. You can see the mouse scroller lifts lights up. So I would basically just control it like I would as if I was in a cockpit, pretty much, using the mouse. All right, so we're gonna enter on the right downwind, and then we'll do a right base into runway 01. That clear. And we'll do our calls into the radio. When we get to about 10 miles, we'll let them know we're 10 miles north of the airport. Wow, look at that peak out there. I don't know if you can see that. Big ass mountain out there. Check out how things are outside. What a cool looking plane. You like my customization on that plane? Pretty nice, huh? Got the American flag on the tail, both sides. There's the undercarriage. I guess I could show you around the plane too. We could scroll this way like this. You can see there's a seat back there. There's the back of the plane right there. A couple passengers, seat belts, storage in the back. Little window action. And that's the SR20. Now the SR20 has the one joystick kind of controller here on the left, but I use a yoke, obviously. I'm thinking about getting a flight stick. All right, about 50 miles to go. Making good time. The other thing you can do in this plane, if you click on this, you get the screen right there, so that makes it much easier to manipulate. It's a lot closer to you, so you don't have to lean in if you'd like to do that. But for me in VR, I can pretty much see everything, and I don't. It's a lot easier just to upload. I use FMS planning, and I use Sky Vector to create the plan. I save it to an FPL file, and then I convert it to an FMS file, and then upload it into the GPS. It's just so much easier entering all that stuff in, especially if I'm doing like a crazy flight plan with a lot of twists and turns. I'll just create it on Sky Vector, just easier. Steph, no, I'm not a real pilot in real life. I'd love to be. I've never flown a plane. I've been in small planes, but I've never flown a plane. But that's someday. That's a goal for someday. But to me, flying in VR, aside from a commercial simulation system, is the next best thing. Because you actually get the feeling. You get the depth, you get the height feeling. Everything's three-dimensional. It feels kind of like you're looking out of binoculars all the time because of the field of view and the headset, but you get that kind of like fades away, and you kind of get used to that after a while. But it's a really, really, really cool feeling to fly in VR. But yeah, someday when I have the coin to do it, I want to take an introductory flight. I could probably do that for like $200. And then, but I would like to work on getting my my pilot's license. I really would. But the thing is once you do that, it's probably cost about $8 to $10 grand to do that. Then to keep everything up, you got to rent planes all the time to keep your, to keep your flight time up, right? You can't just like let it sit on the shelf. You got to use it. So you really have to have, the financial situation to be able to afford to be a private pilot, right? All right, so we got about 15 minutes to get to where we're going. So, then we're going to clear PACL Alpha Charlie Lima. Alpha Charlie Lima. Papa Alpha Charlie Lima. Drop off these 3 crazy passengers. So the deck at the airport we're going to is 1,000. So we'll have to get down a little bit to get into the pattern. Pattern to be about 2,000. So we'll hand fly it down. once we get a little closer. Yeah, for some reason we picked up some airspeed. We're now about 145 knots, which is good. 157 ground speed. I wonder what river that is. Let's see. Let's see what river that is there. That is the Tanana River. And we're going to fly right over Tanana into clear. Normally we probably wouldn't want to do that, but I'm not changing the flight plan now. Yeah, PSVR. I tried that demo. I tried that as well with the Batman game when it first came out. It's pretty amazing. And PSVR, I don't know if they've improved it, but they had some. It was a lower frame rate than Oculus Rift and Vive. They were like at 80 frames per second or something like that. So a lot of people were complaining about getting nauseous. So if you didn't get nauseous in that, you should be good to go. Yeah, Steph, I mean, the Rift is a great deal right now. It's like, what is it, $400? I paid $800 for my system. So, you know, because I bought it when it, you know, a couple months after it came out. But $400, provided you have a good, you know, solid PC, you're going to need a solid PC to run it efficiently, especially if you want to do flight simming. Because, you know, X-Plane uses a lot of cycles, uses a lot of GPU. The VR is going to add to it. Right now you got to use FlyInside. That's going to add to it. So there's 3 components that you're running. I did a video on it. You might want to check that out. But I highly recommend the Oculus Rift. I tried them both. Vive is a good system, but I think the Rift is a lot more comfortable. It's lighter. It doesn't fog up like the Vive. There's only one cable. Say one cable. That's it. Vive's got like 3 cables, and it's just their light box system is a little bit better because it's wireless. So there's pluses and minuses to both, but I prefer the Rift. And I know you'll love it. I really haven't met too many people that have tried a Rift that said that they didn't love it. Yeah, you have a 960. That's going to be, you know, I hate to tell you this, Steph, but a 960 for the Rift is going to be just about entry level. I'm using a 1080 Ti. 960. I had a Rift with a 1070. I used to have a 970. I never had the Rift on it. But a 960, you might have some issues with some of the games. You know, some of the higher, faster moving games. CPU's got something to do with it too. Yeah, 1060. I would say a 1060 is the minimum for VR. I would say 1070 is the sweet spot for VR. If you can afford to get a 1080, I'd go for the 1080. Because the thing is that the games are only going to get more and more dense and complex and deeper with graphics. So you're going to be disappointed if you don't have enough GPU power. All right, 23 miles from the airport. Yeah, that's a wise move to get a 1070. 1070 is a good sweet spot for VR. If you have an i7 chip, you should be fine. Memory too. You want 16 gig. You want at least 16 gig. I've got 32 in mine, but you want at least 16 gig. Now, if you're going to use VR for X-Plane, I'm in our researches, by the end of the year, they're saying they're going to be coming out with native VR. So that means you're going to be able to remove one component. You'll be able to remove FlyInside. So that should make things a little bit more optimized. You should get a little bit better. Hopefully we'll see better frame rates and stuff when it goes native VR with X-Plane. But that's not until the end of the year, what they're saying now. And that's probably beta end of year. Yeah, I would say, like I said, I did a video on VR flight simulation, and I kind of go over all that, the minimums and stuff like that. You got to be careful with VR minimums. You know, Vive, you know, Oculus and HTC, they want to get you to buy a Vive, so they're gonna tell you the absolute minimum, and the minimum is not going to be a good experience. It's just not. You know, it's going to be an okay experience. And if you're playing things like Robo Recall, or, you know, like this, you know, things that are really, really dense in graphics, you're just going to be disappointed. So, you know, min spec, I would go recommended spec and maybe one step up from recommended spec, right? But definitely, I would not go min spec. Because what's going to happen is you'll spend $400 on a Rift, and because it's not enjoyable, it's going to sit on the shelf until you can get a graphics card that supports it properly, right? All right, 17 miles. We're going to clear. We're landing right pattern into 101. We'll announce it. We got 16. We'll announce it 10. It's some peak right over there. I tell you what, once you fly X-Plane in VR, it's very difficult to go back to 2D. I've said this a million times. And the main reason why is landing. It's so much easier to land in VR because you've got the situational awareness and the depth of field, and you can really get a sense of where you are in space. And you can easily quick turn your head to see stuff rather than have to, like, you know, move a mouse to change the monitor view. It's so much easier to land in VR. So much easier. All right. Let's see. We're going to be announcing ourselves soon here to clear traffic. Let them know we're coming home. It's 500 feet. Okay, 559. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong frequency. Setcom 1 to 122.90.
COM1 set to 122.9.
All right, we'll let them know when we're 10 miles out. And we'll start to descend. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta. We are about 10 miles north of the airport. We'll be approaching on the right downwind for a full stop landing on 10, clear traffic. All right, they know we're coming. We'll announce again at 5 miles, but let's take it off autopilot. I'm not going to be able to see chat now, guys, because I'm going to have to pay attention to flying. So autopilot's off. Start going down. There's our airport right there. We're going to enter the right pattern, right downwind. We've got to get our asses down to 1500 though. But one thing I got to do. All right, we're coming into clear. We'll let them know when we're 5 miles out. Why not? Just be a courteous pilot. Want our mixture in. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta. We are 5 miles north of the airport at 3,300 feet. We'll be entering on the right downwind for full stop landing, runway 01, clear. Switch our tanks over to the more full tank. And we better get our asses down here. I see the airport. All right, cool. Right there, that little brown patch there, there's an airfield right in the middle of it. All right, we're at coming down to 1500. Let's start slowing this plane down a little bit. Flaps to 1. Oop, there we go. Whoa, come on, baby. Well, that plane really... I don't like the way that this plane does that. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta entering on the right downwind for runway 01, full stop, clear traffic. $1,500. All right, everything's looking good. There's our runway right there. See what I mean? I mean, just turn your head and look at the runway. You don't have to like use a mouse to change the angle of the width of the monitor or anything like that. It's just right there. All right, we're at 1,300 feet, so we're about 800 above the deck here. Fly out. We'll make our right base and then our final. Let's get flaps to full. We want to wait till you're about 45 degrees with the numbers. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning right base for runway 01, full stop landing, clear traffic. All right, holding 75 knots. All right, here we go. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning final, runway 01, full stop, clear traffic. Gonna be a little bit steep. Little steep. Little quick. We could do it. Running a runway. Oh no. Uh-oh. You know what? I'm aborting that. I'm going to do it again. I should have aborted it. Just do it again. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, aboard landing, turning right crosswind, clear traffic. We'll get it right this time. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning right downwind, runway 01, clear traffic. I think I needed more room on my base turn. I was going too fast or whatever. Good news is nobody was hurt. We'll just get to do it again. Give myself plenty of room. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning right base for runway 01, full stop, clear traffic. All right, we got the full flaps now. Doing our right base turn. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning final, runway 01, full stop, clear traffic. Still a little close, but I'm just doing nice, easy turn here. Yeah, we were a little close there. We should be okay this time. Still a little hot here. This time we'll be fine. Whoa, 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 come on. Why is she bouncing like that? I gotta do this again. Odd. You're supposed to get it down to 70 knots, cut the throttle, and be able to land it. Last time. Clear traffic, Cirrus 320, Tango Delta aborted landing. Turning right downwind, down a crosswind, clear traffic. Wow, that's the first time I've done that in a long time. It's because I've been playing too much Gold Rush. Haven't been flying enough. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning right downwind, runway 01. Clear traffic. All right, now I got some space here. I think I was too close on the downwind turn. You guys are probably laughing at me, right? I'll check the chat afterwards. Just when I was bragging how easy it is to land, I botched 2 frickin' landings. I don't think I've botched a landing in like 100 landings in X-Plane VR. Really, I'm serious. You go back and look at the videos. I mean, I pretty accurate with the landings, but for some reason I was bouncing all over the place, going too fast and bouncing. Alright, flaps to full. This time I'm going out past that second tower and giving myself plenty of room to get down and slow down, because I'm at 1,200 feet here. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning right base for runway 01, full stop, clear traffic. Okay, that's better. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, turning final runway 01, full stop, clear traffic. We're 1,000 feet, so we got 500 to go. We'll make a nice slow turn. Keep it at 76 knots. Now I'm all paranoid about bouncing. Flaps are full. Keep it at 78 knots. I'm out of practice, guys. I'm playing too much Gold Rush. Third time's a charm. That's the right speed right there. Slow descent with the right speed. 75 knots. Start to trim her up a little bit. Get the nose up. Slowly throttling down. A little left, but that's alright. Get it to here. Flare it up. Throttle all the way down. Let her float down. That's how you land an SR20. Like that. That's how you land an SR20. Flaps up. All right, well, third time's a charm. That was embarrassing. Sorry, guys. I don't like the brake sounds on this plane. It's like a skid every time you do it. I don't like the brake sounds. They're too loud. Alright, let's get off the runway here. Then I could take a look at the chat and see how you guys laughed at me. Clear traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta, clear runway 01. After the third attempt, clear traffic. Taxiing to transient parking, clear traffic. Alright, we'll just stop right here, because there's really no place to park here, so we'll just stop right here. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Alright. Let's see what you guys had to say. Boeing, yeah, maybe the fresh Alaska air has more ground effect. I don't know. I don't think so, man. I think I was just going too damn fast. I was just going too fast. All right, let's turn this stuff off. Get our avionics off. Heat off. Lights are off. Throttle and let's get the battery off. And we're good to go, right? Cool. Let's go outside here, take a look outside, and there's the plane. FSEconomy. See what kind of money we made. Alright, let's see. Log. Oh, $1,200 bucks, $1,300 bucks, not bad. Not bad, not bad. So we got almost 350 grand. Cool. All right, not bad. That was our flight right there. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it has Mount Denali. I'm sure it does. But that's about going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for checking out the stream. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And hit the like button if you like what you saw. And don't forget to subscribe to Bambino Games for more virtual reality, flying in X-Plane and FSEconomy 2. And next time I won't... Look at this landing. I did 3 trips around to get to nail the landing. In any event, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.